Sauna is a sacred place of purification for Finnish people. And as is always the case with sacred places, there are many rules of conduct concerning sauna. In the following tale, a farmhand breaks one of these rules, with horrifying results. Satan comes to sauna at midnight. 120 years ago, in the county of Kuusankoski, in western Finland, there was a young farmhand named Viljami. He was well known for his recklessness and bravery. Viljami was a hard worker and he liked to relax in the heat of sauna. Especially he liked the late evening sauna, when all the other people of the farm had left and he could lie alone on the upper bench, all by himself. The warm steam was mellow, soft and luxurious, and soothed his tired muscles. He often said that if he had the choice, he would stay in the sauna forever. One July evening, the people of the farm returned from the hayfield, where they had spent a whole day making hay. They returned quite late because it was just the right time for making hay, and you could never trust a sunny weather to last in Finland. The master and the farmhands drank cool water from the well and went to sauna, which had been warmed for them by the maid of the house. The master and most of the farmhands did their sauna bathing and washed promptly. As they dressed, the master reminded the three farmhands, including Viljami, who were still sitting on the upper bench in the steam. Don't stay too late in sauna. We have to start early tomorrow morning to work out in the fields. The farmhands nodded and continued enjoying sauna. After a while, the other two farmhands washed themselves, got dressed and started to leave. But Viljami had no intention to leave. He continued to lie down on the upper bench feeling drowsy. The older of the farmhands, Jukka, watched him and asked, "Aren't you going to come with us? Surely you don't plan to spend the night here?" Viljami replied, "Might as well stay here. I've been working hard all day and I am dog tired. And who cares where a poor boy like me, just a farmhand, sleeps his night? I will get up early like everybody else for the hard work in the fields." The other two farmhands were tired and prepared to leave, but Jukka insisted one more time. "It is almost midnight, you young fool. Nobody should stay in sauna in the witching hour after midnight. Everybody knows that Satan wants to have his sauna then, and he always wants to bathe alone. He gets annoyed if there are mortals that insult his privacy, and nobody insults the devil without paying the price." Viljami laughed and replied, "You old people are superstitious. That is just an old wives' tale. I sleep wherever I want when I'm sleepy. And I am sleepy as hell right now. Just come here at dawn and wake me up. I'll be here safe and sound." Jukka gave up, and the farmhands left, shaking their heads. Viljami was left alone to lie on the upper bench. Despite his words, he started to remember some of the stories. He recalled grisly tales of the unfortunate people who had remained in the sauna at midnight, out of laziness or stupidity. And then the devil came in the midnight hour. According to the tales, these late sauna bathers were often found hacked to pieces all over sauna. Sometimes these pieces of flesh were plucked into the seams between logs in the wall and ceiling. People said that this was because Satan liked his sauna warm and airtight, and hated when the heat leaked out. And some tales told even worse things that had happened to these people. Viljami thought of these tales and began to wonder if it really was such a good idea to stay in sauna at midnight. He could hear night owls hooting nearby and tiny feet of mice scurrying below the porch of the sauna. Suddenly, all noises stopped, and in his heart he knew that it was midnight. The door opened and a large man stepped in. He had black hair and black, well-trimmed beard. He was dressed in gentleman's clothes and a fancy hat. The man sat heavily down on the chair beside the door and started to take his boots off, and then the rest of the clothes with his hat. Viljami tried to keep quiet and still, but he let out a muffled scream when he saw something terrible. The man had horns in his forehead and only one foot. The other leg ended in horse's hoof. The devil looked up the upper bench and saw Viljami. He raised his black eyebrows and in a booming voice said, "Well, well, it seems I have some company here. You must be Viljami, the hard-working farmhand who likes his sauna almost as much as I do." Viljami tried to stand up, but he could not move a muscle. In helpless horror, Viljami watched as the devil's eyes started to glow red as he started to climb towards him. The last thing he saw and heard was a row of sharp teeth and deep voice that said, "As it happens, I haven't eaten in a long time, and there is nothing like a good little snack after sauna." Next morning, the people of the farm came to sauna to wake Viljami up on their way to the fields. The maid opened the door, looked in and let out a terrible scream. The others crowded on the door and peeked in. They saw something amazing and horrible. Hanging on the perch, right below the ceiling, was Viljami's entire flayed skin, flapping loosely in the morning breeze. Jukka cursed and spat 3 times on the ground. He nodded gloomily at the others and said, "Satan came to the sauna at midnight, just as I said. He flayed Viljami and ate his flesh. And now he has taken Viljami's soul to hell with him, to be burnt forever in eternal fire until the end of the world." I guess Viljami did finally get the eternal sauna that he always wanted. Numb with horror and disgust, the people of the farm left the horrible sight behind them and continued to the hayfield. However, the life had to go on. The sun was shining from the blue sky, and the weather was perfect for making hay. It was going to be a long day out in the fields. Jukka took his hay fork from the pile of hay and leaned on it. Squinting back to the sauna, he told the others, "You know, this has happened before, and it will happen again whenever some fool stays in the sauna after midnight."